I happened to be at home around the evening news time, turned on the news and saw this explosion. And I watched it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour and 39 minutes. What was interesting is the explosion didn't abate, and there was a lot of discussion. Did a plane taking off from San Francisco International crash there? What happened? And no one really knew. Well, I went to the scene on the Sunday after the explosion with the then CEO and chairman of PG&E and looked at the scene. And it was one, as Senator Boxer's chart showed, of absolute devastation, with people who were shocked and shattered and couldn't believe that this huge transmission line was running right under the streets of a residential subdivision. We actually saw the part of the line, and so you could see the outside weld. One of the problems was the weld was only on one side, and it went both circularly as well as longitudinally. So there are a number of questions. First, how did a pipeline owned and operated by a 106-year-old utility and regulated by the California Public Utilities Commission, in compliance with federal safety standards, blow up without warning? And second, why did the fire rage so long? The National Transportation Safety Board, and that's an agency that continues to impress me. They're straightforward, there is no guile, they say it like it is, and they're really to be commended. Well, they've completed an investigation of the explosion, and the report concludes that the pipeline failed along a faulty and incomplete seam weld when pressure spiked to unusually high levels. The NTSB found this accident could have been prevented, and I think that's what is important to us. And the report reaches a simple conclusion. No one knew whether the pipeline under San Bruno was safe. Not the utility, not the state regulators, and not the federal regulators. So let me be clear. The problems that led to tragedy in San Bruno are not unique to that neighborhood or that pipeline. They are widespread throughout the United States. Many older pipelines in urban areas have inaccurate and incomplete records, have never been pressure tested or inspected by smart pigs, and lack automatic or remote control shut-off valves capable of limiting damage following a rupture. At the NTSB's recommendation, California law, and Governor Brown has just signed it, requires now that utilities throughout the state establish a traceable, verifiable, and complete set of pipeline records. Thus far, utilities throughout the state have found incomplete records for as much as 30% of the system. So almost a third of the system, with 38 million people in it, have no records. I really thank the committee for including in its pipeline safety bill a nationwide review, which Senator Boxer and I proposed in our bill. I think this will go a long way, and I want to thank you for it. The NTSB also found that 61% of all transmission pipelines in America were grandfathered from current pipeline strength tests, such as hydrostatic pressure tests under DOT regulations. So 61% is grandfathered. I'm pleased that the committee has accepted the amendment worked out with Senator Paul, requiring that all pipelines that have never undergone a pressure test undergo a viable and effective strength test. These tests would verify the safety of current maximum allowable operating pressures and establish pressure safety buffers on older pipes for the very first time.